Hey guys, I hope you guys are having a great day. Today is a beautiful day here in Baltimore, Maryland. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we've been doing these video blog videos on various topics. Last week, our topic was boring Christians, and we discussed that and what that looked like. And so this week's topic, I'm really excited about. It might be a little controversial or whatever. He says he loves God but wants sex. He says he loves God but wants sex. So that is today's topic, and I'm excited to dig on into it. Pardon, you might see some people walking around in the background, but pardon that. I feel like it's nice to do these videos, and like I just want to change the scenery up a little bit. So today's topic, I know a lot of ladies, one of our main objectives, or one of the main things that we struggle with, is finding a guy. Not necessarily finding a guy, but while we're out here dating, for some of us, or while we're in our courting stages, this is a main thing that comes up. Like, we want a man of God. Some of us want a man of God, but how do you know what a true man of God is? How do you know what a true man of God is? How do you know? How do you decipher from the fake and the phony, and for the real designated guy God wants you to be aligned with? So again, we have sometimes, some of us, while we're dating, there's this pool of guys who go to church, who put up the God memes, who put up the scriptures, and the praying, put up pictures of them praying in church, all of that. And we see them in church, and we're like, oh, wait a minute, let me see he go to church. And we automatically get so excited. We get so excited, like, he goes to church. That's one of the major check markers that we have on our list. We see that he goes to church, that he's a family guy, and all this. So it looks good on paper. It looks good on paper. But I want to encourage all of us to go a little bit deeper, because um, again, the topic of today's video is he loves God but wants sex. He loves God but wants sex. So for me, you guys, I guess you know my story. For those, this is your first video, I'll share a little bit of my story with you guys. About 2 years ago now, I was in a relationship, and I found out the guy that I had been dating was married and had a child at home. I found out after a couple months of dating that he was married and had a child at home, and that news literally tore me apart. It made me reanalyze some of my dating patterns and all of that stuff, and it really made me look into all of that. Changed my whole life, y'all. Changed my whole life. And even ever since that point, there's some things that now I'm looking into, as far as different guys and things. So again, we may see guys who love God, may go to church, but I think there is a difference. And I think there is a difference from a man who loves God and a man who lives for God. We don't just want, this wind is tossing my hair, y'all. We don't just want a guy that loves God. We want a guy that lives for God. And that is just a whole nother height to, a relationship with Christ. Because, while some of us, when we just think about, physical relationships, everyday relationships, we may love people. But isn't it the point that we're like totally in love, that we want to live for them and make them, happy and all that kind of stuff? It's just a total different dimension. So when you're in love with somebody, you want to live for them. You want to make sure that the way you live is, fosters love in that relationship and all that kind of stuff. So there is a difference between a man who loves God and lives for God. And you want a man who lives for God. Why do you want a man who lives for God? You want a man who lives for God because you want a man that is willing to make the ultimate sacrifices, willing to make the ultimate commitment for you. And a lot of times in society, it is seen that they want to test drive before they buy. They want to feel it out and test it out. But when you are in a relationship, when you are courting someone who literally lives for God, they will want to honor you. They will want to court you in a way that you are, because you are a daughter of a king. You are a daughter of a king, and they will want to respect you in that way. So again, there is a difference between a guy who loves God, very well, may go to church, may worship and all that kind of stuff, but there is a deeper height, there is a deeper level that we want our men to be at, because again, when he lives for God, he will be willing to make commitments for you. He will be willing to wait for you. He'd be willing to sacrifice sex, because again, the ultimate objective when we're in this relationship should be, the final destination should be marriage. It's not, finding this person and that person to spend our Saturday nights, to fill up Netflix and chill nights. It's more than that, because the person that you're tied to means so much to your life. It's so much more than just laying around. It's so much more than an occasional movie. It's so much more than that, because what the ultimate objective should be, it should be for marriage, for marriage, for marriage, for marriage. And when you get into marriage, there's going to be a lot of commitments. There's going to be a lot of sacrifice. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to, you have to do. And so you want a God that lives for God, because he is willing to make sacrifices. He is willing to deny his urges. He is willing to deny all of that, because his love for Christ is so pure, is so true. And again, he is still going to be human. I'm not going to say, I'm not saying this because, there's no perfect man, there's no perfect woman. We ourselves, we're not perfect. But there is a difference from someone, who simply, not simply, because loving God, it's great, it's good, but there's a difference between, again, like I said, loving God and living for God. Because when he lives for God, he's going to want to make the commitment. He's going to want to court you correctly. He's not going to present sex to you. He's not before marriage. He's not going to do that. When he lives, he literally lives for God. Like he is, like him and God is just like, he is going to want to respect you. So title for today's video blog, he loves God but wants sex. Yes. So the answer is yes. Yes, it's very so much so possible that he loves God, but he may not be in that point in his relationship that he is living for God. He may not be in that point that he's so much in love that he wants to make the Lord God, the Lord over his life, the Lord over his life. So it's very much a possible for someone to love God. Even back to, our relationships, while we may love some people, when we get to that point of really like totally in love, we want to live for them. We want to do things for them. We want to please them. And pleasing God, although the society says, we want to test drive things out before they die, pleasing God is holding out on sex until marriage. That is what it is. That is what it is. That is what it is. And I don't, again, when I'm doing these videos, guys, my intent is not to be preachy. I'm just sharing this because, for me, I was like, sex before marriage, like, what do you do? What's the big deal? I'm out here having a good time. It's okay. But when I realized, again, I shared a little bit of my story with you guys, and I know some people have heard it before, but when I realized, that situation made me realize that, this is not the way to go. Sex blinds you to so much. Sex blinds you to so much. And when you're able to sacrifice sex and to live for God, you're able to see things so clearly. You're able to get revelation from God. You're able to see him. You're able to hear him so much clearly. You're able to have the pureness of joy and all of that. And so we don't just want a guy who loves God. We don't just want a guy who loves God. We want a guy that lives for God, Again, it's not going to mean that he's going to be perfect. He's going to do everything right. But he's always going to have that strive to please God, And he's going to want to respect you. So, again, it's very much possible that he loves God. But we not only just want a guy who loves God, we want a guy who lives for God. So, last week's topic was Born Christian. Today's topic was he says he loves God but wants sex. And so next week, our next video blog topic is women can't have it all. Women can't have it all. So I want you guys leave your comments. Leave your comments, your questions, anything like that, any topics that you guys want to talk about. I would gladly love to hear those. And again, last week I announced some news, but if you guys don't know, I am an author, producer, director, all that good stuff. But October 17th, I want you guys to mark your calendars. October 17th, Adulterated is going to be re-released with a brand new ending and sneak peek to my very next book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like God, who's going to be released February 14th, 2018. And I am so excited. So, guys, I want you to go put that on your calendars. Mark the date, October 17th. It is coming. I hope you guys enjoyed this video blog topic. And again, if you guys have any other topics that you want to talk about, drop them below. It can be controversial. I don't care. I'm willing to talk about it. So, yes, I will see you guys next time. Bye.